everybody, welcome back to the Roots of Ambition. This is Danny and Angel. Today we are blessed to have someone very special who we're very, very big on, very big fans here. Before I even tell you who she is, let me give you this beautiful introduction we got ready. Today on the Roots of Ambition, we're sitting down with someone who turned her love for food, culture, into a powerful brand. Alejandra Gonzalez, better known as Miss Foodie Bay Area, went from sharing honest Yelp reviews to becoming one of the most trusted voices in Bay foodie scene. But she's not just spotlighting gems. She's building her own. As a co-founder of Con Azucar Cafe, Alejandra is creating a space that brings community, culture, and flavor together under one roof. This is a conversation about hustle, about heart, and heritage. Let's get into the story behind the brand, the business, and the mujer who's showing the world what it means to move con sabor and con orgullo. Welcome, everybody. Miss Foodie, Alejandra Bay Area in the house, baby.
Wow.
Welcome to the podcast.
No. Thank you. That was
Welcome.
an
Thanks,
amazing
Ali.
intro.
Thank you for being here.
Wow, that was an amazing intro.
Thank you. Let's go, girl.
You deserve it.
Very cool.
Also, hey, well, you've earned it. You've earned it. I don't tell
Appreciate
anyone they deserve it, right? I believe that people earn it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything that we do in our life, we earn.
Yes.
And from what I've been seeing the last 5 years since I've been aware of you is this girl is earning every bit of it, man.
Yeah.
Right? I got 1,000 questions.
Okay.
I know Angel has, my wife, Michelle she has 1,000 questions for me to ask.
Thank
But
you.
let's get to the first one really quick because I'm sure there's probably still some people who don't know about you, right? And after this podcast, millions that are watching.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank
are going to
you.
find out
Thank
about you,
Millions.
right? No,
Yeah,
millions.
absolutely.
So the first one is, tell us a little bit about where you're from and what part of the Bay Area or Mexico shaped you the most.
Shaped me the most. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I grew up in Los Gatos, California. And then shortly after, grew up in San Jose for most of my life. East San Jose. And my parents...
Hold on, girl. You from Los Gatos?
Los Gatos.
Really?
Yeah,
How long were you living there for?
Well, all my life, basically, until I got married.
Really?
So,
Wow.
Yeah, I went
Did you go to Los Gatos High?
Yeah.
Damn, that's beautiful.
I went to Van Meter, Los Gatos High, Fisher Middle School, all that good stuff. So,
Right on.
yeah, I think that shaped me into also the person that I am because it was a complete different experience from, now living in San Jose, now living in Discovery Bay, my Mexican roots. And so it all shaped me to who I am today, for sure. Today. Yeah. My parents are from Mexico. Mi papá es de Michoacán.
So you're first generation here or second? I'm first generation here.
Okay, I'm first generation.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Mi papá es de Michoacán y mi mamá es de Zacatecas.
Beautiful.
Zacatecas, right on.
Beautiful.
Every year I would go travel to Zacatecas since I was super, super young. So that definitely me sentó los pies. And, I got to experience that part of nuestras raíces and all that. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Okay.
What about Michoacán? Did you go to Michoacán often or no?
I went to Michoacán maybe a couple times only
Okay.
maybe twice to visit my grandma and then recently with my husband. But other than that, I go to Zacatecas a lot.
Zacatecas,
Yeah.
right on.
That's where my grandma is now. My other grandma passed away.
So your roots are heavy into your heritage,
Yes.
right? I'm Mexican, you're Mexican,
Yes.
you're Mexican. I have to ask you already because I'm anxious. What is your favorite plate, right? Like if they told you only have 1 week to live and you could only eat one thing the rest of the week, what is
Yeah,
it?
I think it's pozole. I
Oh,
love
pozole.
pozole.
I'm menudo. You're
Okay,
pozole.
yeah, I'm
All right.
pozole, yeah.
All right.
Pork pozole with chile de aceite, limoncito, los extra rábanos. I love rábanos. But yeah, pozole.
All right.
You ever had a chile de yahualica?
I have not.
Oh my God.
What is that?
So chile de yahualica. So chile de árbol, you know what chile de árbol is, right? So the chile de yahualica is kind of like similar to wine. If the pepper is grown in that region, it's actually recognized and you cannot call it. So it has a different flavor. And as a matter of fact, it's more expensive.
Kind of like tequila?
like tequila too. So it's because it's grown in that specific area, and so your abuelita is known for their sauces, and it's a vinegar base sauce. But my favorite way to have it is with pozole. I mean, so El Porky is one of the brands.
Okay.
There's a few other brands out there. I don't remember them all. I personally like one that they don't sell here. You have to go buy it over there, but I gotta get you a bottle. Like with pozole, that is the way to do it.
For sure,
Right
I
on.
love extra spicy que pique.
Oh, yeah.
So con el
It's
chile
spicy.
aceite, extra chile aceite, extra chilito, for sure.
Yeah.
So our lives, we're all full of lessons, right? I can't tell you how many lessons I've learned, right? When your mom tells you not to touch the stove, right?
Yeah.
I'm the kid that said, fuck it. All the shit I learned, right? But what's a childhood memory that you've learned and that's stood with you the rest of your life? That
I've learned. And
is there
stood with
one
me?
that you learned, whether if it's good, bad, or ugly, that whether if it's about life or people or circumstances or situations?
I mean, a childhood. I think I learned many.
Yeah.
But one that I guess stood with me is, I mean, from a very young age, I've always worked. So mis papás siempre me decían, like, in order to get somewhere, you got to work hard, right?
Absolutely.
So in my childhood memory, that's something that's consistently is in my mind is just, keep working hard for what you want,
Same.
right? And
Same.
it's been nonstop since then. I worked since I was 14 years old. From the time I was able to work at 14 with my school permit and everything, I was working. I was working 2-3 jobs, and so.
What was your first job?
I was a server at a restaurant called Doña Maria restaurant, and I think that gave me the skills in life for customer service, how to treat people, how to talk to people, and that really shaped me into that world of that customer service, I guess. So.
Just the way you treat people,
Yes.
how you communicate.
Yes.
Those are so, like, honestly, like I tell my kids and all the kids, like kids that I coach, like, if you want to go far, you got to treat people good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I
The
agree.
simple things like looking at the person when you're talking.
Yep.
Versus talking to them, but you're looking over here.
Yeah, or you're on your phone.
Or you're on your phone. Those things make a big difference. What did your young Alejandra dream of becoming? And how close was it that you were doing than what you are doing today?
How funny.
I told you we had good questions, bro.
I think, my dream always was to be a singer, and it was to be in kind of that, like, eventful life. And at some point, I was in an all-girl banda. And
you
Oh, I
were.
saw that. I
Yes.
saw that.
So
Yeah, right on.
I was really like trying to reach for that dream, and my mom was able to get me into an all-girl banda, and I was a trumpet player. I tried a little bit of everything. So I tried at first the
drums?
tarolas,
Oh, the
tarolas in la banda, and then moved on to, I didn't like being in the back. I was like, I need to
Yeah, but in the front.
so then I would transition into the trumpet, and then the manager of the band gave me the opportunity to sing some songs in the band.
Yeah.
Never took singing lessons. I think it was just kind of what I knew. So I was definitely not the best singer, but I tried.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really nice experience. So
But
I was very, soon after that dream kind of like, faded away, got realistic. And I was like, all right, we got to move on to a different career. And so that's when I started to kind of move into the administrative side. I went to a school called CET, and that's where I got to learn a little bit more of like how to make a resume, because things like that they don't teach you
In
in
San
school.
Jose, right? CET?
CET, yeah.
They don't ever teach
They
you to
don't
do
teach
stuff
that
in school. Yeah.
So I learned real life, lessons and experience in that CET program where I learned how to make a resume. I learned how to use Word and Excel, and so that helped me go into the job that was on the administrative side. So
Well, I mean, so you always had the vision of being in the spotlight, right? I mean, because I honestly, for me, I wanted to be this big football player, baseball player, right? I didn't obviously do that, but in the sense where I kind of developed a little spotlight for myself, and I think you're doing the same, right? I mean, you got a very good following. You're doing very good. I heard on the podcast, but I want people who haven't heard it, like, what got you to say, I'm gonna just go around and start tasting food and talking to the camera and giving live reviews? What made that happen? What was the little idea that said, this is what you should at least mess around and do?
Yeah, I mean, I think in real life, I'm an actual foodie, regardless of Miss Foodie Bay Area. Naturally, I'm a foodie, and when I met my husband, we got together, and he was a foodie too, and so we're like, let's go explore different restaurants on every weekend. And at some point, I don't know, I think it was Instagram, a actual foodie commented on my page, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, he posts just about food. Like, this is what I love to do. And so we decided to go to an LA foodie tour. And from there I started kind of...
What's an LA foodie tour? I never heard of it.
We went to LA
and just
on a foodie tour. Like a whole bunch of restaurants that I had looked up, and I was like, I want to go to all these places.
Boom, boom, boom.
And so we went around, and back then Reels didn't exist. It was more kind of like you post a picture about the place.
Right.
So we had a long list. I think we hit up like 13 locations in one weekend. And
you guys were grubbing, bro.
Yeah. And so I started posting on the page because it was getting overwhelming on my personal page. So we made a separate page called it was Bay Area Foodies. But soon enough, my husband didn't want to be fully part of it. He kind of wanted to be behind the scenes. So it became Miss Foodie Bay Area.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, when did you and your husband meet?
We met. Oh my God! We met in 2012.
2012.
So I was graduating from high school, and we've been together ever since. So 13 years
right
strong.
On, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats.
13 years strong. We just hit 13 years actually on June 22nd.
Congratulations, guys.
You.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful. All right, let's keep it moving. So at what moment did you realize that the hobby turned into a movement, right? Like, when did you realize, oh shit, like we can kind of monetize this if we try to, right? Because I asked that question because, man, I have 45 employees, right? And some of these kids are really young, right? And you hire these young kids and they don't want to work, right?
Yeah.
Man, I want to be a TikTok star. I want to...
Nowadays,
It's gotten so really bad now. But then it's like, sometimes I don't get mad at them because, like, I see people like you. I see other people who do it and they're actually very successful, right? So, like, at what point did it start to monetize for you, or you can live off of this or incorporate?
Yes.
Right?
I want to say during COVID. So it was during COVID. I didn't monetize during COVID, no.
Right.
But that's when I kind of realized the impact that I had in regards to going to a place and being able to promote it. And I saw that the community was supporting and would show up and they would trust my word on it.
Started following
and so I was like, great, awesome. Once I think towards the end of COVID is when I truly started kind of dedicating myself to it. I still always had a full-time job. I recently just left my full-time job.
Because you were working at Tesla, right?
I worked at Tesla. And so, I mean, now I monetize on it because it's my time. It's the editing. I can see the impact I bring.
Absolutely.
Things like that. But there is a kind of deal or contract that I send out to these places. Like, hey, if your food isn't, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be raw. If your food isn't 100%. It, I'm going to tell you. But my thing has always been is I'm not, and this is a question that I get all the time, like, you never post places that you don't like. No, I'm not going to bring down a business like that because I know the impact that I have. And so if the food is not good or it needs work or whatever it is, right? I'll let them know.
Yeah. Okay, but you do provide the feedback to the owners.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Because I think that's super helpful and that's a positive way of doing it.
Yes. So, I mean, I know some people want to see that raw content, like, oh, I don't like this, but no, for what? I mean,
that's just creating negativity.
Exactly, and I don't want that on my page. So,
have you ever had a situation where, like, the food was not great, they took the feedback, and then you went back and they got better?
I've had a situation where I don't know. No, I didn't like it at all. Like, honestly, I did not like anything of it, and so I let them know, like, this needed work, this and this and that. And you know what? They have invited me back. So it is pending. Yes. Okay. So they worked on it and it is pending for me to come back. But I didn't post them. But I let them know, you know? Right. Because I know at the end of the day, also my followers or the people that, trust in my word, they'll be like, oh, I went and it was bad and this and that. We all have different taste buds regardless. Right.
Absolutely.
But if I genuinely didn't feel like it was that good, then I'm not going to post it for someone else to go from all the way, I don't know, in San Jose and it's all the way in Sacramento and then it turns out it's
That's
not
a great
good,
way to do it.
So,
and not putting it out there. I mean, there's still families attached to these businesses. So for you to... Because I think that's kind of part of the problem with the Yelp culture is that everybody's very quick to put a bad review.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bad reviews are so long, but then very few people take the time to actually do a really long, good review.
Yeah.
And really that's how it should be. It's like, let's put positivity out there. Like,
and at the end of the day, you know, you can't control the actions or feelings of every employee that you have for your business. Because sometimes you hire someone, they're good, they seem fit for the job, excellent customer service, and then one day they're having a bad day, and unfortunately you are that unlucky customer that comes in and gets that bad service or that bad latte in our case, and you know, it affects the image, and then here they go writing those long Yelp reviews, and now it's kind of like an image of the owner of the business, right? And they, from that bad experience, they make it a whole terrible experience.
Would you say that those bad experiences have helped you with your systems that you're putting into your business to ensure that that consistency across the board? Because you're getting to see that.
Yes. So, I mean, and I'm able to go to a restaurant or someplace, and I understand, like, sometimes when it's like there's not even a good morning, right? And so it's something we implement into our business. And even though maybe not everyone has followed it through, where it's like, oh, I went in and they didn't even welcome me or something, like, it's something that we do try, and it's part of our training and it's part of our values to say, like, you know, always greet everyone with the greeting. It's a new experience for everyone. So make sure that you guys are, you know, making them feel welcome, because that's the atmosphere we want to create in our business. A place that feels safe for nuestra comunidad and, you know, somewhere that they can relate in. So
man, I tell you, like, I think that any business is hard, right? It's not easy. You know what I mean? But the one thing that like I take off my hat to is any restaurants, any cafes, because I mean, if one thing goes bad, it can just be a really bad triple effect, right? There's got to be consistency. The mix has got to be all the same. The steering's got to be the same, right? You have a one chef, and then one day he's not there, and a new guy comes in, and he's not cooking the same. There's just so many different variables there, man.
I feel like el mundo de los restauranteros, and I've something that I've come to a realization, it's really hard. Dude. Owning a food business, it's very hard. It's time consuming. A lot of work. There's so much behind the scenes, and at the end of the day, yes, you can have one of the best concepts. Yes, you can have all the social media and all this, but the return it's very little sometimes, you know, and it's because of the food costs. You got to make sure the payroll's down. You got to make sure, you know, your food cost is down. Then you have sales tax. Sales tax is the number one killer
here in California.
In California, it's terrible. And so at the end of the day, it's just like, man, is this fully worth it? Is this worth my sanity, my mental health? You know, but you know, we like it. We like what we do. So
that's what I'm saying. When you like it or when you love what you're doing, man, there's nothing's gonna stop you. And I think, like, going back to my point, I think that's the biggest difference that I've seen in most restaurants is, like, there's times where you go where I've talked to this owner, and like the owner's actually there, and then I talk to this owner. This owner is full of life and he loves it, and he's walking around talking to all the people and checking the food and making sure everything's good. And this guy's right here, man, I can't do this anymore. I'm done, bro. You know, I don't care if your food's good or not. I don't care if it's hot or cold, bro. You don't like it, get out of here, right? And I've witnessed that. What for you? What is your dream come true with the businesses that you're starting right now? What is it, like, the ultimate goal for you?
The ultimate goal?
Yeah.
Oh man, these questions get harder. Huh? I mean, I think right now we're living in our dream. We're living in our goal, where we have been able to create a brand, and now it's not just, you know, we have our corporate owned stores. Now we're a brand that we are able to now have the opportunity for others to be able to open their cafe and to have that. So I love the feeling of opening a new coffee shop and seeing the reaction of the new owners and, how the community is still showing up and still supporting our brand. And so with the 100 locations coming in Los Angeles, that's probably a goal that we hadn't thought of yet, but now it's like, okay, now it's reality and we're living it and it's amazing. So it's just going with the flow. I don't think we have a full end goal for what Con Azucar is yet, because every day is a different day. What's next, right? Every day. So we've incorporated now different concepts. Something that, a lot of people don't know yet, but now we're incorporating a different concept called Panomex.
Oh, really?
Yes, and Panomex is going to be like a full blown out panaderia mexicana, where de esas que ves en Mexico, and it's gonna go along with Con Azucar Cafe, because also it's the bread that's gonna be in Con Azucar Cafe, but now having a panaderia. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Man, that is beautiful. Yeah. So hold on, I don't. She snuck that in there.
Yeah,
she said 100 stores, 100. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. She said 100.
And that's just LA.
Beautiful, man.
That's just LA.
Because you have others coming.
Yes. So we recently signed off in Chicago. We signed off a good 5 stores there too. So yeah,
bro,
that's good.
Sick, dude.
So I'm gonna be having some Chicago pizza very soon.
And I think there's one in Tracy, right? So coming up, or is that right?
So that one's it's in between. Right now we're in between cities, either Tracy or Los Baños, but it's coming soon. Yeah.
So one little idea that you guys came up with, and I was telling my wife, I was like, dude, that's fucking brilliant. It's putting your stamp of approval on the stores.
Oh.
I know it's so minuscule, but to me, dude, I think that's beautiful, man.
The Miss Foodie Bay Area?
Yeah, your little stamp on the window. That is honestly, dude, that is awesome.
Thank
you know, because you're blessing them too, right? Because you have such a huge following. I mean, when I saw you, I told my wife, "Hey, we gotta, man. She did the way she was eating the food and she was drinking the jugos there. We gotta go do it, right?" What came up with that stamp of approval? Was that just an idea, like, hey, let's?
I got inspired. I got inspired by Mexi Papa. So he used to do the Mexi Papa approvals.
Oh.
And so I was like, that's unique. I want to do that. He's doing that in LA. Let me do that here. Let me do that here in the Bay. So that's when I started doing the approval. I don't do them as frequent anymore, no. But it is something that I started doing, and it was great.
Idea,
people wanted the sticker. They're like, I want the sticker on my window. But I haven't done it in a while.
I should have asked her to bring some extra stickers.
I know.
I should have,
Go ahead, bro. Good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna keep rolling, man.
Keep rolling.
If you get to know me, I won't shut up. And if I'm talking too much, tell me. Be quiet. I got you, girl. So I have 2 businesses, and one of the ones, like, if you know me, like I work with my heart on my sleeve, right? Everything I do is passion. I try to make everyone happy, and I know we can't do that, right? And sometimes, some of your technicians, or if they go to job sites, you're not there with them, and they may make a mistake or not, and it may not even be that big of a deal. The point I'm going with this is when I get on Google and I get a bad review, right? Like I get so pissed.
Yeah.
How do you handle bad reviews? Like how do you either answer them, or what kind of goes through your mind, or do you just kind of let it blow over your shoulder?
No, I know that at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to make everyone happy. So I do take in consideration, like when it's like a frequent review, like this specific store, like, bad customer service, or this specific latte watered down, or whatever they feel like it is on the review. Once I see, it's 2 or 3 times I've seen the review, let me look into it.
Yeah.
Other than that, for my mental sanity, I think I have lowered the notifications on the Yelp and the Googles. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm trying my hardest. Yeah. I know my team is not just, laying back and, not trying their hardest. So, I want to say I know that what we can bring to the table, I know what we need to work on. And it's definitely a work in progress regardless. So it used to get to me like, ugh, you know, like what is going on? And I'll be like, hey guys, we just got this review. What's going on? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I've learned to kind of ease down and just kind of, you know, I get that not everyone's going to like our product, and it's totally fine. And
100%.
we have people that they love our product. They come every day for our product. And, you know, that's the goal, right?
That's the goal.
It's the goal for you to go try. If you don't like it, hey, that's fine. You know, we weren't your niche, but at least you went to go try it, right?
Like you said earlier, everybody has different taste buds. And
Yes.
sometimes you're going to have.
So I didn't ask this. I meant to ask this earlier. Are you a chef? Do you cook? Like, do you like take? No, because I love to eat, but I'm not the greatest cook, right?
I follow recipes, yes, but I know how to make a really mean chilaquiles without salsa. But no, I am not the best cook, but I will follow a very good recipe and I can, you know, roll it out. But for our business in general, though, I am the one that comes up with most of the recipes for the drinks and stuff. The syrups, and I mean, we have now a big team and we all kind of like incorporate, but I'll be the one in there kind of like, let's try this out. Let's do this. So yeah.
And you just do something that is to your taste and that's how you come up with those? Or
yes. Let's say, for example, we also try to follow trends. So let's see like we tried to do the Dubai chocolate
and your own twist.
Drink. But at the end of the day, you got to look at food costs. You got to look like, is this really like the time it takes to make it and all that. So, I mean, we try to make products that, yes, what if it goes viral and our team is not be able to keep up, and then we're going to be, you know, shattered with all these bad reviews because they can't keep up.
Yeah, because they can't.
So we'll try to roll out things that are, you know, something that's doable for, now we're a franchise, so something that's doable for everyone.
Yeah,
you know?
That's repeatable.
And that's repeatable as well. So
what about the design and the general vibe of Con Azucar? Like, how did that concept came to be? What was the inspiration like?
Yeah, I mean, the first initial one in downtown San Jose, it was trial and error completely. We ordered new furniture. We, you know, sent it back. We got new furniture. I almost drove the flower people crazy because I was like, no, take it down. No, I don't want that. No. And I want no pink. I don't want it to be pink.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to create a space that, you know, brought a little bit of Mexico to the Bay.
Yeah.
That incorporated our colors, red, white, and green. That, you know, the essence of the art, the essence of the music. And so it all kind of just came together little by little. It took almost a year to have it.
But it was
together.
all your design and idea.
I want to say I had a lot to do with it, but we all, you know, it's initially in that location, it's 4 of us. So I mean, we all participated. So
let me take you back really quick. And that's one thing I messed up on. At what point? When did you get the idea to say, you know what, I think we could open our first restaurant,
our first coffee
because
shop?
I want to bring that up to people's attention because a lot of people are scared, Alejandra, right? A lot of, you know, and I hate to say it's a lot of our raza is scared because, one, we don't have the money, or our circle doesn't believe in us, or our circle is telling us no, right? And we always have these, you know, amargados, freaking negative people that are telling you it's never going to work, right? So at what point did you say, fuck this?
Yeah.
I think I can do it. No, because that's a really big thing.
For
the next Alejandra coming up.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I think we've always kind of went against the odds where we're like, we don't care what people are saying. We had family members like, oh, it's not going to work. Why are you guys opening during COVID? Blah, blah, blah. You know, so for us, it's more like, we're going to show them that we can.
That's
we're going to show them that we're going to, you know, roll it out. And we're not going to be just that little cafecito. We're going to, you know, be something bigger than what they thought it was going to be. So, I mean, it was a scary feeling. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we put all of our savings into it. You know, we put all of our savings into it.
So is you guys and 2 other people, 4 total? Or?
It's 5 of us now. The initial one is 4 of us.
Okay.
The OG one in downtown San Jose. But now, in order to grow, we added another partner, and he's definitely helped us grow in, you know, the levels that we are.
But tell me, so how did you make that decision? So what was the original idea to like, we should like what?
Did someone tell you about it?
No. So I mean, we met. Alex and Hugo, which they're owners of Tostadas restaurants in San Jose.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So we met them during the pandemic.
Okay.
And our friendship became really close. And we're like, we should open something up, Like,
Yeah.
I think we all have the same values. We all have the same beliefs. We've got along really well. Up until today, we get along really well. So it's been a really great partnership with all of us.
Beautiful.
And so we're like, let's open something up, Why not? And we had savings sitting down there waiting to see where we can invest. And we're like, I think this is it. Let's bring in, at first we were going to do a antojito spot, like a paleteria. But we all love coffee. And so
everybody loves coffee.
But I literally, if I do not have a cup of coffee, I get a headache. Like, it's so bad. I'm addicted. So we're like, why don't we open a coffee shop? Un café mexicano, which was at that time, there wasn't anything around like that in the Bay Area. And so a lot of traveling to Mexico. I love going to the coffee shops in Mexico. And so
different vibe.
I had different vibe, and we wanted to bring that out here. We're like, what? Let's do that. Let's do that out here. So
that's sick, dude.
Yeah. But it's been a nice partnership, a nice friendship, and that's what kind of brought Con Azucar together.
Beautiful. And now it's moving. It's got a lot of traction. She just said 100 stores. Everybody, No, and I want to touch on that. I want to touch on that because growing up where I come from, I was always told you can never do it. If you want to be successful, you got to go sell drugs on the corner. Seriously, And I've been able my whole life, adult life, to be able to prove a lot of people wrong. Like, I did everything legit. Everything is 100% legit. I don't have to look over my back.
Yeah.
I got 45 employees.
Yeah.
I got good partners, right?
Yeah.
We got payroll on time all the time. It's a beautiful feeling, right? So what would you tell a young Alejandra right now who's on the teeter, like, can I do it? I can't do it. And people are telling her, what's the one thing of advice that you would tell her? Like you can do it, girl. You know what I mean?
Yes. I feel like if you have fear right now, you're already starting really well. Like, because everything great, like everything great that we've accomplished, it was done with fear regardless. And we did it, right? So if you have fear, take the risk.
That's normal.
Do it. It's normal, But if you don't take the risk, you're going to just be, kind of seeing everyone else grow. So take that risk.
You couldn't have said it any better. What's been the hardest decision you've had to make since starting Con Azucar? Like, what's the one decision like, wait, I got to roll the dice on this one, dude.
Absolutely.
I don't know, right?
Expanding the brand outside of corporate. So not just having our own corporate stores, knowing that now your brand is in the responsibility of now our franchisees. So, are they going to take care of your brand the same way that you did from the start or from how we are now? Are they going to, make that abuelita chocolate the same as your downtown store?
Yeah.
So it's, in order for us to grow, we had to go this route to be able to expand our brand because that's what we wanted to do. And now leaving the brand in the hands of others is I think the biggest risk that we had to do for Con Azucar. So, because now you're not just seeing your own Yelp reviews. You're seeing everyone else's Yelp reviews for each individual store. And so
they're all tied differently,
they're
right?
all tied differently.
Okay.
Every other store, like the Salinas store, the Fresno store, the Sacramento store, they're all different franchise owners, right? At the end of the day, it's a huge investment they're making into making a Con Azucar. So I know that, they are going to take care of it with all their heart because it's a major investment. Not a major investment, but it's a big investment, right? And so, we're confident that the people that we have chosen to be able to represent our brand are doing a really good job.
So the people you guys are picking to represent your brand, do they go through like a very hard interview? Like, I mean, like if you want to be part of this, you have to meet our criteria, right? I'm assuming.
Yes. So we'll go over a presentation with them. We'll kind of get to know them. We'll see how they function, and all the franchises that we have right now, they're doing a really good job.
Awesome.
They've excelled in that. Yeah.
So I gotta ask, how did the idea of the Big Concha? Like, what was?
Yeah.
How was that born? Like,
We saw a video on social media of a big croissant in Paris.
Oh, okay.
So it was a huge croissant. We're like, that's amazing. Why don't we do a big concha, right? And so we called up our bakery and we're like, hey, can we do a huge concha? And he's like, yeah, we'll have it in the next few hours.
Yeah.
He pulled up with this major submarine concha, which is I think the video that I have pinned. And it was huge. It was huge. I mean, we have definitely, you know, modernized it to a regular concha. But it was a huge concha, and we were gonna just post it up to like make people laugh to see how it went. But we couldn't have a big concha without having a big café.
Right. So you had to make the café.
So Tostadas had these big cántaros where like they do like cantaritos al verano. Have you seen that in Jalisco? So they had these big cántaros.
Like Tlaquepaque style.
We went to go get a big cántaro and we made a huge coffee in there, and we, you know, recorded ourselves dipping the bread. I kid you not, I remember it was Friday at 1 p.m. And as soon as I posted it, it was like becoming viral within seconds. It was crazy.
Yeah. It's so cool, dude.
I think the video got like 52 million views.
52 million views.
And so from there, people were like, where can I get it? Where can I buy it? And we're like, we can't just post this. We gotta sell it. And so that's when we called up the panaderia and we're like, hey, we need 50 large conchas for tomorrow. And he's like, what? And so, yeah, I mean, that's how it became now what it is, la Casa de la Concha Gigante.
That is beautiful.
Did you have any idea that or expectation that it was gonna do as well as it did?
Like, absolutely not. No, we were just posting it as a joke. We were having fun.
That's crazy.
And we just, you know, from seeing the comments, like, where can I get it? Where can I get it? It was our moment to shine. Why not? Let's try to do it. Let's sell it, right?
Yeah, straight up, man.
What was a huge concha, now it has now it's the regular round concha.
Yeah.
And when I posted the regular round concha, I think that one hit another like 50 mil too. So that was so it kept going. I mean, we're 3 years strong, and so they still keep selling.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. Reals, man.
Thank you.
I got a good one here. What has being a business owner taught you about leadership and sacrifice? Right? I mean, because in your position, in my position too, I mean, we got everybody a lot of people dependent on our thoughts, our ideas, right? Circumstances, whether something's going good or something's going bad. A lot of people kind of want to hear our input or see how we react. What's been one of the biggest things that being a leader or just making a sacrifice has taught you at this point so far in your life, in your business career?
Can you give me an example for you?
So what's one thing about leadership that you've learned so far?
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, I'm sure you're managing everybody. You have a certain role that you have to play within all these. I'm sure you probably have to deal with certain personalities and characters. Yes. How do you manage them? You know, she's mad at her, they're not getting along. Like, what has that taught you about so far? Because you're still young, and you're going to learn a lot more. But at this point, what have you learned about it?
I think in general, I come from a background where we were definitely taught a lot of our corporate skills that we've been able to incorporate into Con Azucar. And one of them is like, you cannot become friends with your employees. It doesn't mean like you can't hear them out. It doesn't mean you can't talk to them it is. But it's been a hard role to play because you want to be cool. You want to be that cool boss.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when it comes down to making a hard decision or to maybe reprimanding someone because they did something wrong, you're not that bestie anymore. And so, they'll, at some point, the tables will turn and now you're the bad guy. And so it's kind of balancing that thin line of, hey, work and then some fun here and there,
a lot of small business owners make that mistake, because they start hiring their tios, their tias, their uncles, whatever. And they make that mistake. And then when you have to make a business decision, it's really hard. And often they don't make that decision and affects the business. So for you to be able to identify that early on is great.
I've been able to identify it because I've been through it. At Tesla, hiring friends or, just become salty at some point. Or, I've seen other restaurants go through where they can't tell anything to the server porque su hermana and they'll get offended. And I'm like, oh, this is why we don't mix,
Do that.
family with business. So
Because at Tesla, you manage more than 40 people, I think, something like that, right?
I manage 450 employees.
450
way,
employees.
bro. I didn't know
Yeah.
Wow.
stuff, dude.
Yeah. So I started
Dang.
off with a department of 5 people, and they're like, let's grow this. So I was a site manager, and from 5 people, I got a call one day from one of the Tesla department managers, and they were like, hey, we need 60 people. I need you to hire 60 people. Well, guess what? I used my social media foodie page where I was like, we're looking for people to come in. And so I think within 2 days, I was able to get them so many new hires. And so that worked really well, where it got to the point where we grew to 450 employees, and then I became an associate manager for the department.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So a lot of your leadership skills, you learned them there, and then you're applying them now in your business.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if I remember correctly, you started as a temp there, right? Or something like that.
I did. Wow.
Did we?
Right?
We did some homework.
Which is great. Can you tell us a little bit about that story? Because when I was listening, I think it was on a podcast that I listened. I can't remember.
Really?
I've been stalking you for a while, so I can't remember.
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Gotta do our homework.
I started as a temp with a company called Flagship, which till this day, I definitely give them absolute 100% credit for being able to give me the opportunity with them. They trusted me into having this account. They were like, hey, Ali, we're sending you to Tesla. And so Flagship is a contractor company too. So they'll go to different facilities. And from the start, I was able to make really good relationships with the management at Tesla. And so within like 6 months, I went from becoming a quality control from what I was hired to a supervisor. And then after being a supervisor, I was promoted to site manager. And then one day Tesla's like, hey, we don't want any more contractors. We want to hire people in-house. And so they considered me for a role to become in-house with them. Wow. Which is funny because I did not want to become in-house because I was so loyal to Flagship. And so I even, had a meeting with my boss at some point, and I was like, you know what? They're offering me this position, but I want to stay with you guys. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to be with Tesla. Like, how could they fire Flagship? But I didn't understand at that point. And he kind of gave me the blessing, was like, Ali,
this is a good
take the opportunity. If it doesn't work out, doors are open. And that was the biggest life decision at that point for me, because it really changed our lives in a really good way, becoming a Tesla employee. Because they give you really well. At that point, they gave me really good benefits. Yeah. They gave me a stock plan. They gave me really good pay. And so
that's awesome.
That definitely changed our lives. So it has helped us in the long run with a lot of our, buying our home or things like that. So I was there for 8 years. Wow. 8 years.
And what did you do before you started at Tesla?
I was a server.
Oh, so server and then Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a huge jump in a year or two after starting at Tesla.
Yes.
But you see, man, the server, you learn really quick how to deal with people. And to me, I tell people that is such a blessing. If you know how to deal with people, you can kind of fit in anywhere because you can kind of adapt.
Yeah, I feel like the being a servant in the restaurant business or a hostess or it gives you the experience of, dealing with different personalities and just kind of gets you out there, out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And I'm all about that nowadays, getting out of that comfort zone, which is why I'm here today. I'm getting out of my comfort zone and, being on the podcast. And
Thank you.
I'm all about that for sure. And I feel like that's what really gave me that experience of how to deal with people. Tesla as well. I dealt with 450 different personalities. So that definitely gave me a hardcore experience.
Dude, that is awesome, man. So we all have someone, most people have someone in their lives that they kind of want to emulate their work ethic from, right? Or they just kind of naturally around these people, so they learn their work ethic. How did watching your dad hustle from a childhood shape the kind of leader you are today?
Well, I mean, I didn't really. He put me to work with him. So at the end of the day, I watched him work hard.
That's what I'm saying.
I've been watching my parents work hard. I've seen the sacrifices they've made. I've seen the time they had to commit to their jobs and not being able to be at my, school performance or whatever because they had to work. And now that I'm an adult, I get it. Like, they had to work. They had to work and they couldn't be there. And so seeing that has basically, motivated me to, in a way to shape our future the way we're shaping it and keep working hard to be able to have that freedom for my kids now, and I feel like they've given us that opportunity nowadays to see that, like, hey, I wasn't there because I worked so hard to be able to kind of shape you into the person you are today,
Yeah.
And so my dad would pay me like $1 an hour to go to work with him, and he would give me a broom, and I would be sweeping, and I was like, "Where's my $5?" I worked 5 hours for you. Give me my $5. So yeah, he definitely implemented that into me and engraved that into me
more and more.
Since young.
It's like. I think we're losing that sometimes with the new generations. And, it's like you want to provide for your kids in the next generation, but you also want to give them a little bit of tough love.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing you said in one of the podcasts. I think you and your husband were talking about how like you guys won't go into a hard time and you have to ask your dad for money.
And that's so funny.
That stuck with me so much because he's like, and he gave us a sermon.
Yeah.
And I was
so
like,
relatable.
I think you said something like, I'm not going to do it. I would never ask him for money again. But it's like, that is needed sometimes because you want to give your kids everything possible, but you want to give them a little bit of the hard love and tough love because...
And that's something that's in our, in our memory, and it's engraved within us because we were kind of just spending money. We're like, all right, we got a paycheck. Paycheck is that we spent, So it got to a point where me and my husband were dating. He had this nice jug full of coins, and we went to go exchange all those coins because we were not gonna ask my dad for money. So the last time that we asked him, you're like, hey dad, can I get $100?
Yeah.
And he gave us this life lesson that we had to take care of our money, that, we couldn't be living like this. Like, what was I going to do when I was older? And blah, 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 blah. He didn't want me to repeat the cycle of kind of their living way of him and my mom. And so, I was young. We were young at that point. I didn't get it. I was upset. And I was like, I'm never going to ask him for money again. And ever since that time, we never did. So we were,
taught you a
kind
lesson.
of hard-headed towards it. It taught us a lesson, but also being that hard-headed, prideful young teen that I was like, nope, So I think it definitely shaped us to work hard and save our money.
But a valuable lesson.
A very valuable lesson. Valuable, yeah.
So, I just had this question. So, where was it at? I'm sorry. What was it? Oh, in any family, when there's success, a lot of times how many kids you have now?
2.
You have 2.
Twins.
You have, that's right.
Twins.
That's right. So when you guys have success, and I get asked this question a lot too, because with my wife is very patient with me, right? Thank you, Mom.
Extremely patient.
Thank you, Mom.
Very we're all like that.
Thank you. But how do you guys deal with the tension, with the success that comes, with the hours that come with it, right? What do you tell your husband? What does your husband tell you? Because a lot of people, man, and it's so funny, Alejandra, it's so, it's not funny. I shouldn't say it's funny, but a lot of people, they ask me like, oh, when you started your business, how did you have time for your kids? And how did you have time for fun and going out to party with your friends? And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? For 2 years, man, I put my head down and I was working like 16, 18 hours every day, right? I didn't have time to do anything, right? So you guys have been successful simultaneously, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Is there ever any tension, right? Is there any times where you guys are like, oh, you go to that side of the room, I'm gonna stay on this side, right?
Absolutely,
So, but this is what I want people to understand. I mean, you're a female and you're successful, right? And there is a great amount of stories of females being successful, but it's very rare in most cases. Okay,
It's definitely been a sacrifice for both of us. I mean, we've taken chances. I think many times in our pathway of being together. One of them was when they made me a Tesla employee. They told me like, hey, you know, you're going to be a Tesla employee, but I need you to work overnight. And so I took the night shift.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know,
That's tough in a relationship.
Yeah. And so I spoke to him and, you know, I was like, you know what? They want me to do night shift. What do you think? So it's a conversation between both of us where we both came to the agreement like, hey, this is going to be a better opportunity in the long run for the both of us. And it got to, you know, a couple years where we wouldn't even see each other throughout the day at all until like our day off, right? When I was coming in from work to come and sleep in the morning at 6 a.m, he was leaving to work. So that was a sacrifice. Nowadays, we work completely together. We're always together, 100% of the time. But I'm his backbone. He's my backbone. We support each other in every single way where, you know, we're always together. So, you know, if there's a business decision, we always check in with each other. And there has been sacrifices made where we don't attend family parties all the time. We don't attend big events because we have work to do but it's sacrifices that's always for the better. And yes, I think we fight at least once a day, every day. We have our little fights.
Everybody does.
Normal. But at the end of the day, we're one and we come back together. And I have gotten to know, like, hey, do not press that button anymore. Like, just, you know, walk away. Because back in the day, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna press that button, you know. But now it's I think we have a full understanding of how we both work and what frustrates one another. And so our relationship is absolutely not perfect. We fight, but we're one, and we always come back, and we have the same goal. We have the same mindset in what we want for our future. So.
That's beautiful. And that last part is like
that's beautiful.
So important that often young couples don't understand.
Need to hear.
They don't have the same goal, and if you guys can't talk to each other and understand what the goal is, where you guys going after. Then on the bad days, that's when it's gonna show, right?
Yes. And we were just having a conversation with some friends yesterday, actually, where, you know, one person wants something and then the other person wants the other. Else. But at the end of the day, how my husband was explaining to them, you know, it takes a sacrifice, and on his end, he's sacrificed on things that, you know, he doesn't like doing, or that he has to stop some, like maybe my husband likes to do a whole other thing, but he knows that if he doesn't support me and, you know, some of these things that I'm doing, that, hey, we might not be able to progress together. And so, you know, we make sacrifices for each other at the end of the day. And that's what has helped us to align our relationship in a really good way.
Bro, that is beautiful for these people to hear, man.
Oh, thank you.
Because I seriously, like, you know, for them to hear it from a female standpoint, right? The success, the sacrifices, you coming home and him going to work and not having that time together, sacrifice. A lot of these kids don't understand what that means. Like, when I tell people the word sacrifice, like, they look at me like they're, you know, I hate to say it, but like they're dumb. Like, they don't understand it. Like, I tell people all the time, I literally, like, the balance for me and my family was like 90-10. Like, I was just never there. I was waking up, gone, leaving, gone, right? I was irritable. I was stressed out. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. So for them to hear it from your standpoint, I honestly thank you for sharing that, because it's big.
Even now that, you know, we gotten so busy with with Con Azucar. You know, it's we have sacrificed fun days. We have sacrificed. We sometimes we leave the house at like 7 a.m. and we don't come back till midnight. You know, and so. We live all the way out here. Most of our businesses are in San Jose or an hour away. And so we don't get to spend much time in our house either. So,
but you're together.
But we're together, and that's what counts.
Man, that's awesome.
So you're together, but you're working.
Yes.
So what do you do to make sure you guys stay connected? Because you guys are so busy right now. You were saying it just now. You were saying it off camera. Like, what are the things that you guys do to just make sure that you guys are still
Yeah.
connected? You guys are still a husband and wife.
Yes, and we're true believers of that. 100%. Where we're planning a vacation very soon, just him and I.
There you go.
To tour different countries, but we're huge. I want to say travel people.
Yeah,
So we plan vacations out, or even just a dinner. Him and I, where we're like, hey, we don't need anyone else. Like, let's just be us.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. They sacrificed all that time to be able to go tour different cities, different countries. That's what sacrifice now to be able to live the life that she's living now. You understand what I mean? I'm sorry.
No,
I wanted
get
to
it.
make that point.
Yes,
You know?
because we want bigger and greater things for
Yeah.
ourselves, but we know it comes with a sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
So we know the hard work that needs to put in. It's not just going to be given to us. So we completely understand that. Yeah.
Absolutely. What? Me, I'm crazy, man. If you one day you're gonna meet my wife, and she's gonna be like, "This he's crazy," because I'm always working, right? I'm always coming up with ideas. I'm doing things. I'm dealing with things. What motivates you? What gets you up? And don't say the kids.
I was gonna say nowadays my kids,
but let's leave the kids out of it, right? What besides the kids? What is it that gets you up and says, "I'm gonna kick this day in the ass today, bro"? Right? I'm going to win today. I'm going to go out there and be the best Alejandra I can be for Con Azucar and the vision that we have. What is it that gets you up and gets you going?
Freedom of time. So I want to.
Yes.
I love all this. Yes.
People don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like you get to do whatever the way you want, how you want, when you want, where you want.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. Thank
Freedom
you.
of time, because
Man, we're right here, bro.
we appreciate, and it's funny because I get so many opportunities, and I do get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take it because I appreciate going to the mall on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. to go, I don't know, shopping or whatever.
Yes.
And so it's that freedom of time that definitely is what gets me up and going, because, we love to just travel out during the week.
Yeah.
And we know that in order to have that freedom of time, that we still got to keep pushing regardless.
Every day. Right,
every day.
Right, yeah. So the sacrifice that you made brought you to the freedom of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing that because that's like, I keep trying to tell people, man, in order to get where you want to get, you have to sacrifice.
Yes.
Right? And that sacrifice can be a year, 2 years, 5 years. It can be partying with your friends, going clubbing, spending money on stupid stuff, going traveling with your friends, or spending the money you don't even have, right? Versus, let me sacrifice, let me work all these hours, let me learn all these tools, let me save all this money, and then 5-10 years from now, I'll live the life that I want to live while you knuckleheads are still suffering.
And I want to say, with what we're doing now with Con Azucar, I mean, it's still growing. We're still having to make major investments here and there. So when people see us out on a vacation or buying some luxury type of item or whatever it is, it's not fully because it's coming from Con Azucar, because Con Azucar is still an investment. It's still coming. It's still growing.
Yes.
We still have other side hustles to, keep us going and keep us.
That was my next
being able
question.
to keep that freedom of time. So yeah.
So explain that. Like, a lot of people, like, they always tell me, aren't you happy with just one business? And no, hell no.
You need numerous incomes.
I need energy coming from. I call money energy. I need energy coming from every single direction, right? And that's not going to happen if you just focus on one line.
No.
And most people are like horses, like with blinders. They only see one tunnel.
No.
And me, I'm on the other hand. Like, I take those blinders off so I can see everything. Why do you think it's important for people to develop more than just one hustle?
You just don't ever know what's going to happen to, one of your hustles. So you got to have that kind of back end support.
One more time, girl. One more time.
You got to have that plan B. And,
dude.
we're constantly looking for plan Bs.
Yes.
We might have, 3-4 different concepts or 3 to 4 different hustles, but we're always looking for plan B or C, because you just never know what could happen to
never,
one,
Never know.
So right now with the economy, with what's going on, with
all the
crazy stuff, you just don't know what's going to happen next.
Absolutely.
So, always having different options.
Right. All right. I didn't even see this question you put down here. I'm going to say it anyways. What would young Alejandra, the girl with the Tropicana fake ID, think about Alejandra today?
Wow. You guys really, I was getting hot in here. You guys really know me, huh? Exposing me now. I don't think that Alejandra with the fake Tropicana ID would see herself, because she wanted to be a singer. She wanted to be out in the, clubs promoting and singing and all that. So I don't think she would see herself as a businesswoman that she is today. And so very, very proud of her.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, if you were to talk to her directly,
that's
what would you tell her? And tell her on the camera.
Oh my
This is you're talking to her.
No.
What would you tell her?
What would I tell her?
Yeah, just
I would say keep hustling. You're doing amazing. Whatever you're doing right now is going to shape you into the person that you're going to be in the future and a successful businesswoman that you are now.
Beautiful.
That was amazing, dude. We got another.
I snuck a few little.
Yeah, we got another question like that, but kind of different later on. Not right now. Not right now. But I'm gonna throw a little curveball at you right now.
Okay.
Okay. So we like to kind of change up the conversation, right? If you won $100 million right now, what are the first 3 things you would do with your money?
The first 3 things I would do with my money. One would definitely be pay off all my debt that I have. 2 is being able to provide a home for my mother and my husband's mother, to be able to have them live comfortably, take care of my family. And 3 is enjoy it, enjoy it and travel and
going anywhere
and everywhere and, see where the world takes us. So,
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. What does the rest of your life look like for you? And how do you know when you're stretched too thin?
How do I know when I'm stretched too thin is what I said earlier is I kind of know when I need to stop, where if I don't have time to stop and eat somewhere or have the time to just have a minute to ourselves, then I know that's when I'm stretched too thin. Then I know that's when let's analyze and see. I'm a huge calendar user. So everything's on my calendar. I have, at this hour we're going to be here, at this hour we're going to be here. And so when I get to see that there's absolutely not even one day off during my week, it's like, okay, I need to slow things down. Okay. Yeah. So
you always been a calendar user, or since you started your business you had to be, or is it just
I've been a calendar user ever since my corporate jobs. Okay. So that's where it's kind of...
Yeah, managing 400 employees, I'm sure.
Just meetings as well, like meetings here, a meeting there. And so it's something that's been in my life for a while, So, even my weekends, like if I have a birthday party on Saturday, I'm not going to double book myself for another party, because... How am I gonna, I don't drink that much, but I can't have a nice beer and sit down before having to go to the other party. So it's like only one party on a Saturday and that's it. I can't do anymore.
I'm sure you're busy with that too, right? You got a big family, like cousins, uncles? You don't?
I have a pretty small family. Okay. My husband has a huge family. Okay. He has a good 30 brothers and sisters.
30?
So
damn.
Mexicano, bro.
No cable.
So he has a huge family.
Wow.
How many siblings do you have?
How many siblings? I have 4.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, big difference.
4 sisters, so it's 5 of us. Yeah.
Right on.
So on my mom's side, I have about 18, and I thought that was a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
30 is a different level.
Yeah, he has 30 brothers and sisters.
Jesus, bro, damn. Yeah. I get this question asked a lot. But I like to ask it is, how do you balance your ambition and your peace? Like me, I'm just a very ambitious person, right? I come from a place of survival where even to this day, like it's just not enough, right? I got to keep getting more energy just to be safe, right? And what happens is I'm so locked in on that where I lose the peace that I should have, and I start becoming an enemy to myself where I'm not sleeping enough, right? I'm losing my patience with people, right? Or I'm just being overly too direct to people sometimes, right? So for you, how do you balance your ambition and your peace?
I think we do a pretty good job with that. You know, we live in a pretty comfortable state right now where I feel like if you rush into something right away, it's not going to turn out how you want it to be.
Right.
And so right now with our growth of our brand, we take it step by step. We see we see the comments where people are like, how are they growing so fast? How are they doing this? And a lot of people don't understand our concept that we're a franchise and that's how we grow.
Yeah. And you have a system already.
And we have a system.
Yeah.
We have a whole team behind it. But I mean, I think we do a pretty good job balancing it, you know, like saying, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to take the day off because I see that we have to do, you know, chores in the house or we just need a day to ourselves.
Shut it down.
We know how to shut it down. We know how we know how to keep that balance. So
where do you guys get that from? Because that's not normal.
Yeah.
Most people will be overwhelmed in your situation.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like I have to give you seriously, I have to give you credit, man. And I don't know, like just maybe I'm wrong, but maybe dealing with the 450 people, right? Kind of prepared you for what you're going through right now.
I want to say yes because we dealt with a whole bunch of crazy situations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tesla, but I maybe because we just make such a great balance between me and my husband, where we're always in the same flow.
Yeah,
you know, so. We just know how to balance ourselves really well.
And he also managed a lot of employees, right? I think
he did.
Right?
Yeah, he managed a lot of employees as well himself for many years.
So maybe that's part of it.
And he comes from a complete corporate background as well. So, you know, we get anxiety running late to an event because we're just so, like, we're just structured that way now.
Yeah,
Which is, you know, I don't know if it's bad or good because then that kind of messes with our anxiety. We're like, oh, we're running late, you know, things like that. I was here 5 minutes before. We were chilling in my car, you know, before I came into the podcast.
Right on.
But we just know how to balance ourselves really well. I feel like nowadays, a lot of people don't have that opportunity from coming from that corporate background, coming from, you know, having someone that structures you and they kind of just open a business without knowing. And so a lot of, you know, maybe those bad decisions or bad habits that you have are not worked on because they're not coming from the same background from us.
Yeah, but you have a huge advantage because of your background.
Yes.
Both of you guys.
Yes.
Right? Now, a lot of people don't have that background with the whole corporate structure, the amount of personalities, the rules, the regulations, understanding insurances and rules. That's a huge advantage to you. So a question I have for you as a business point, what has been your hardest part about working with partners in business? Has there been a challenge where like maybe we just don't see eye to eye on something? And if you've ever been to that point, how do you guys get over that?
I think we have made such a great partnership with all of we all have different mentalities, of course. We all have different thoughts and you know, we might not agree on the design of something, but it's nothing major. We're all in the same mentality where, you know, we're not excited to see big numbers of energy coming in. It's not like, oh, we're not thinking like, oh, he's stealing or she's stealing or we're touching. No, we know that our time will come and that, you know, we're all in that kind of same growth mentality. So money is a dangerous topic for a lot of partnerships. And I think in our partnership, it's something that we, you know, like it's not new to, I don't want to say it's not new to us, but it's not something that like motivates us. What motivates us is giving opportunities to others, creating more jobs. What motivates us is seeing our brand grow. And
that's the magic.
And so that's what motivates us, you know? So.
All right. So.
But it's never gotten to a point where we are like in really bad terms.
No. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on the other hand, on the flip side, have had the opposite experience.
Where even friendships end.
And that's where I tell people like sometimes, you know, just because it didn't work for you and your friends doesn't mean it's not going to work for me and my friends or the people that I go into business with, right? As long as you're honest, right? You guys have expectations, you're communicating.
Yep.
Everything should go well. right?
Honesty goes a long way with, a partnership, right? So
Absolutely.
even the littlest change, like, hey guys, you know what? We did this is what happened, but just being open about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at the end of the day, with transparency, that's what has worked for us
Good
100%.
stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I had the other one right here real quick. I'm sorry. What's something you wish more influencers knew about protecting their voice? Because I ran across an influencer that got really into like politics, right? And then he said a message where, man, I shouldn't have talked about that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it can be about anything, but like just what is it you want all these younger influencers to know about their voice and how powerful their platform could be?
Social media, whether you have, very little followers or you have an abundance of followers, it can really affect you in a very good way or in a very negative way. So what you say today, it might not be, you might not think, oh, it'll affect you. It will if it's something bad. Or we're definitely very careful with what we say because we've known that everyone has different opinions. And at the end of the day, you are not going to win over someone that has a complete different opinion over you.
Right.
And so, yes, we're very careful with, what we speak out on or what we promote, how we promote it, and things like that.
Because the thing is that's archive, right? And it lives there. And those... something that might be okay to say right now might not be okay to say a year. So, being aware of that, I can imagine.
It'll come. I've seen some deep, researchers on the internet where they'll find a comment of you of 2016 and they'll expose that out there. And
I found out about your fake ID. So
there you go. Like, where did you get this information? Like, for me, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how did you know I commented this on 2016 on so and so? Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
However you portray yourself can really affect you in a very good way or in a very bad way.
So you got some fame, right? I'm sure like you've probably been somewhere. Like, have you ever been in a situation where someone makes you feel uncomfortable, or like a fan or just person where they're either being rude? And if you have been in that situation, how did you handle it?
I mean, I think I've been in that situation maybe once or twice where they've shown up to places where I'm at, and so and because I used to post like live when I was there.
Got you.
And so it was kind of like, and it's not like, okay, cool, they want to meet me and things like that, but it gets to a point where when it's just too much sometimes. And so now I'm like, okay, I'll post after I leave the place or things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I got another one.
Keep going.
I'm gonna keep firing all cylinders. So me in business, there's been a few times, right, where I doubt myself, right? And there's been like a few times where like I make a decision, I say, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, dude. Why did I do that, bro? And then my brain starts tripping on me and starts making me think like, now everything's gonna go bad. Have you ever been in a position where you've doubted yourself and or even become depressed because of it? And if you've been there, what did you do to get out of that hole?
I mean, I think, there's certain points where we hit, like, where we see, the sales go down for our locations, and we're like, well, what are we doing wrong? Like, what is it, I mean, we go and we do taste runs and how is our product? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where sometimes we're doubting ourselves, we're doubting our brand, but then we see, the growth, we see the most interest that people keep having, and we're like, you know what? No, we got this. Let's keep innovating. Let's keep, making our brand even better. Let's not let that get to us.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes getting a lot of negative feedback can really impact you, and that's when either you take it and you better it or you grow it or you just kind of get stuck, right?
Yeah.
And we don't want to get stuck. We want to keep growing. We already built a brand for ourselves. We already built a name for ourselves. So there's no other option. We gotta keep going. So
I love. Did you guys hear? This is
She's dropping dimes over here.
it's beautiful coming from a woman, though.
Yeah.
You know,
thank you.
no, seriously. And I take my hat off to you. I really do, because this world can be nasty, dude.
oh yes.
You know, and I'm sure. I mean, especially for a female, you get people who try to be bullies or who try to just sway you out of making decisions or try to take advantage of you or just saying a bunch of things. And the fact that you can tell you got a solid partner, right? Because you know he's got your back,
Yeah, for
right,
sure.
and you got his back. But you guys have a big dream. You guys are working together, right? And I'm sure if you are feeling a little down, he's picking you up, or if he's feeling a little down, you're picking him
Yeah.
up. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? I want to give you your flowers on that, because a lot of, I for one met a lot of females where if they're given a little bit of negativity, a lot of them collapse,
Yeah.
right? Or they fall back, or they start letting their brains run with them. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're so powerful, where do you get that from?
You know, it got to there's been fake pages made of me. There's been people trying to, you know, make very negative videos of me, not knowing, like, you know, that it's not just me behind our company, or it's not just but at the end of the day, at first it was getting to me. I would be like, man, they commented this.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something clicked in my brain, and I was like, I don't care what people think about my image. I don't care what people say about me or what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I know that I'm growing. I keep excelling, you know. And so these people, I've gotten to understanding those people behind those fake pages, or those people that are nasty talking. It's because they're not happy with themselves, you know. They don't like to see others succeed. They don't like to see others, you know, doing what they're doing. For whatever reason, I see you doing well. I see, like, yes,
They're
props
projecting.
to you. Do it. Let's go, you know?
Absolutely.
But there's just some evil people out there that do not want to see you succeed. And they don't even know you. They don't even know you. They've never been, there's some specific people that I know of that haven't even visited the coffee shop because for whatever reason, they don't like me. They don't like the brand. They don't, you know? And so
keep smiling.
It's okay.
Keep
you
smiling.
know, it's okay. So now I definitely feel like my mind has shifted to no longer really like taking in that negativity. That negativity completely stays out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't take it in anymore. It stays out.
There's a quote, and I'm gonna butcher it, but so a redwood tree and a grass, at one point they're at the same size. But trees don't hang out with grass. You know, you have to learn how to just keep growing and move forward. And the grass is still gonna stay grass. You're gonna become a beautiful giant sequoia tree, whatever that is.
Giant sequoia tree.
I love that. Giant sequoia. Yeah, that's awesome.
So sometimes you just have to put that behind, right? And just push forward. And part of the problem is that it's easy to say those things behind a computer.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yes. Behind a profile with no picture, you know.
Internet
so,
Rambos.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, we throughout the time have learned, and you know, unfortunately, we, you know, have learned to kind of keep our circle tighter and tighter. And it's not because, you know, we don't want to make other friendships or whatever. It's just we have learned that we don't all have the same mindset. And, you know, why ruin something so beautiful that we already have and opening doors to something that can potentially... Yeah, we protect it 100%.
Yeah. It's a trip how the more successful you are, the smaller that circle gets, dude. Right?
Yeah, like, because sometimes you want to talk to someone or maybe an old friend about your achievements that you're happening.
And they think you're bragging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know? And unfortunately, it's not that we're bragging. We're just so happy that we're doing this. This is our life now. This is what we consist of now. We're happy that we're achieving this new goal. We're happy we're opening a new coffee shop or a new 100 locations. But because we're just talking about it, it seems like, oh, they're bragging. Oh, they think they're better than us. And it's like, we don't need that. You know?
No, if you can express yourself, that doesn't need to be part of the circle.
We hang out with like-minded individuals for sure.
We're going to get along just fine, girl. So I got a question for you. I grew up in San Diego, but I had a really good friend, Mexican family, just like myself. They were dark Mexicans, but they lived in La Jolla. You know, are you familiar with La Jolla?
We just actually visited recently.
So they lived in La Jolla. And the stories for him growing up in La Jolla, right? Like one of the only Mexicans in the area at the time, were very kind of rough and very hard for him. You lived in Los Gatos and you were Mexican. Did you have like hard? Was it hard for you growing up in that area?
Yes, absolutely.
It was. I can assume it was a little challenging.
Kind of the only little Mexican girl
That's
there,
what I'm saying.
and I was dark skinned and not in my, I want to say Hollister Abercrombie clothes. I was in my La Pulga clothes. I was in La Rose clothes, and Marshalls and all that. And not to say it's a bad brand or anything, but in Los Gatos or at that point, it's like, oh, you're not wearing Hollister, oh, you're not wearing Abercrombie. And so it shaped me to be a tough little Mexican girl.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. Yeah. So I think like that's where I was leading to is a lot of your thick skin, like you had to absorb a lot, dude, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember my friend. I remember when I met him in the 12th grade at a football camp, right? And he told me where he lived, and I was like, he's dark Mexican, right? Like dark. And I was like, bro, what do you mean you live in La Jolla? Like, well, yeah, like my dad rents the little shack in the back with the owner he works, and that's where he goes. And I go to school with his sons, and he would tell me all the horror stories and the bullying and everything he went to. But I don't really talk to him much now, but he's thriving in his life now. And like one time he posted on his Facebook, like, there's nothing else that anyone could ever tell me that I haven't heard already growing up in La Jolla. You know? Yeah. So that's kind of like,
I had a teacher at some point that just kind of was very discriminatory against me and how I dressed and, who I was. And she was my history teacher, I will never forget. And she was kind of always looked down upon me, and so I'm like,
that's horrible.
But look at you now.
Exactly. It's like, but look, that girl that you basically frowned upon. And back then it's like, here I am. So
absolutely. Yeah. I got a trick question for you. If you could be any animal in this world, what would you be and why?
What? That, I think that's definitely more of a boy question.
No.
Any animal in the world.
What would you be and why?
That's such a tough question. No one has ever asked me that before.
I warned you. I said I'm gonna give you some tough questions every once in a while.
Oh my gosh. Why? Maybe I want to say I've always admired dolphins.
Okay.
Dolphins, because they're always very happy and positive. They live in their best life.
I like that.
They seem very at peace.
And they're friendly.
And so that's fits. A dolphin.
That fits right. No, dolphin. That fits with you, dude. I
don't know if there's something else. What would you be?
They're for me at the beginning. Like I used to say a lion.
Okay.
Right. But honestly, I got asked that question like 5 years after the first time, and I really thought about it. I consider myself more as a wolf.
Ooh.
Right? Because I'm good by myself, but I'm greater with the pack.
Okay.
I work better in a team. You know what I mean? I work better with surrounded like-minded individuals like yourself. Like I believe like we're all a team. I know that whatever the goal is, whatever the hunt is, we're all gonna work together, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to be able to enforce as much as I can to help the team win.
And dolphins always have their packs too.
Have a
there
pack.
We go.
Exactly. So like, even though lions have a pack, they're very different dynamic versus a wolf. Right. It's very rare when you run into a lone wolf, right? Yeah. Most wolves travel in a pack. And to me, when I heard it, like I tell people, I want to go far, right, in life. But I want to go far and take a lot of people with me.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's been my MO. That's been everything. That's everything I always tell my brother here. Like, man, I want to go far, and let's take a lot of people with me. You know? That's awesome. And I'm at the point where we have 45 employees. By the end of September, we should be up to about 65, 70.
Congrats. Amazing.
Thank you very much. So
it's hard work.
It's hard. It's hard, but I love it. I love it
for
though.
Sure, yeah.
The dream continues, the struggles continue, but man, if I can help bless 65 families, and if each man is willing to come work for me, it is my obligation, my duty to look out for them
That's
and to
awesome.
point them in the right direction, right?
Yeah, we definitely have the same values and beliefs as well. We love giving more opportunities to our community and being able to provide more jobs and being, we see the great, community that we have built and being able to open more doors to our gente, to our community. And why not, know?
So I got a question for you. You just moved here to Discovery Bay Area, right? Brentwood, Oakley, Antioch. Are you going to make a presence here in your backyard, or do you kind of want to leave it kind of just like empty right now, where you can just kind of enjoy your own scene? Or do you want to like, man, Mrs. Foodie Bay Area lives here, baby, and we're going to open a shop right here, right?
Yeah.
No. What is your vibe with that?
I think right now we're leaving it alone.
Okay.
We're leaving it mainly because the population, we do look into a lot of that before opening a new Con Azucar, like the population, that's kind of the niche for a coffee shop.
Absolutely. Right.
And I feel like putting a Con Azucar out here will now involve us a lot more too, to be there and a lot of more of our time, and
it makes a lot of sense.
So we're gonna leave this as our sanctuary area.
It's like living where you work.
Yeah,
right.
No, I understand that 100%. 100%. What about like the reviews thing? Are you gonna give?
I've done some, for
locally
sure.
right here? Right on.
Well, they just did the one that they came from.
We just went to Wingbrook.
That's
Wingbrook.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And we've been to a couple actually. There's another restaurant in Brentwood. What is it called? It starts with an A. I forgot, but it's like Italian. It's really good.
Atravicianos?
Atra. Yeah, that one's a really good one. They
I love Atra.
Farm to table and
Yes.
We went to the wine place next door. So we've been exploring.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. I got a hard question for you.
Oh, no.
You don't have to answer it.
Okay.
But I like to ask this question because I like to make people kind of think outside the box a little bit, right? If you were to pass away today, what would you want your legacy to be for your kids and for your husband? How would you want them to remember you the rest of their lives?
Oh, man. Wow, that is a hard question. I mean, how I would want them to remember is that, we were always kind of, I guess, hustling, wanting better for ourselves, wanting better for the legacy that we're leaving behind. And so, to never give up on whatever they want to do and see the growth, see what they can achieve, what they can accomplish, right? Yes. That we're not here just to live. We're living with a purpose. We're trying to, leave that stamp and, hey, this person opened this many doors for me. This person was able to create all these jobs for the community. This person made an impact some way, somehow while they were living here. So.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I like another one for you to do. I want you to look into your camera.
Oh my God.
And I want you to talk to yourself
again
10 years from now.
Okay.
So you're leaving a message. You're basically manifesting what you want to happen within the next 10 years. So leave a message. So that way in 10 years from now, the Roots of Ambition, after your 300 store or 500 stores, we can replay this for you.
I'm leaving a message.
There, you're leaving a message to yourself 10 years from now.
Okay. Alejandra, you keep doing what you're doing because you're creating something great. You are going to be able to open not just these 100 locations, but you're creating a great brand of, let's say, 1,000 locations. In 10 years, I want to see you in Cancun, retired, with a piña colada in your hand, living out there, girl. Like, be doing your thing and, just living your best life. So, because you have built this and because you're working hard right now, so you deserve it.
Good job,
Nice.
baby.
Well
I'm telling you, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save
Well
it for
done.
you.
I'm
We're
gonna be
save
drinking
it.
my pina colada in Cancun, okay?
Yeah.
Like, hey girl, I'm gonna send you a message.
tired out
Look at
there.
your Instagram right now.
I have another question, and is another one that we want you to look at the camera. So
Oh.
if you could inspire one girl that's watching right now, someone that's hustling, that's doubting herself, feeling overwhelmed, what would you tell her now?
What I said earlier is, if you have fear right now, if you have doubt right now, you're already starting in that right path. You're already going through that right path, because everything great starts with that fear. The people that you admire today, they started with fear. They didn't accomplish everything because they were ready.
Mm-hmm.
They started with fear. So keep doing what you're doing. And if you have that fear and doubt right now, trust me, you're gonna do great things already. That's already going the right path.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Man. Yeah. Any other questions before I wrap it up?
No.
I don't want to keep you too much.
No, it's okay.
Right?
Let's keep going.
Man, don't
We're
let
just
me
getting
with the good
started,
time,
dog.
girl. Well, shit. Before that, okay. So, I want to say something personally to you. Okay. When I was introduced to you through my wife on Instagram, I saw something very remarkable. And I'm not telling you this just because you're here, right? I saw hope, right? I saw tenacity. I saw a tiger, right? I saw love. I saw respect. I saw integrity. I saw authenticity, right? I saw something that, to me, like I told my wife, that this is awesome to see, because I showed my daughters, like, she's brown just like you.
Mm-hmm.
She's Mexican just like you, right? For so long and so many years, like, a lot of times, for me, I always revert back to me, like, we were always, where I come from, we were told that I come from the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with rats and roaches. I mean, literally.
Same here.
You know what I mean?
Same here.
So I was always told from teachers, from counselors, from police officers, every cop that we had in the hood, they were all blonde hair with blue eyes. They would pull us over and they would bully us, right? They'd check our pockets. They'd get our skateboard and throw it over the fence just to do that. And if I went to go tell a teacher that this cop did that, they would call me liars, right? So we were always like downloaded into believing that we can't, right? And to be sitting here with you, one, again, in front of everybody, thank you for responding to that message and giving us the opportunity to do this interview with you. And I know that you guys have much success right now. You guys are doing so many things, and you're also raising a family. And I know that the time sometimes can be very strict, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But going back to my daughters, like, being able to show them what you're doing and how you've been able to do it, and the success. And then just the other night, we we're talking about, man, this beautiful lady and all her hard work. She's part of this big organization, and she's opening all these cafes, and it's beautiful to be able to say that someone like us, where we come from, is doing it.
Thank you.
And I mean that. Like, I have my success, and but to see a female do it, to me, I have one boy and I have 3 daughters, so I'm a girl dad, right? So I like to use people like yourself as an influence, as a beacon, as a representation, as a model. Like, she's doing it.
Yeah.
And she can do it. She's making it possible. You're making it possible.
Thank you.
For many Alejandras out there. And I don't know if you know this already, but a lot of people are watching you, and you're leaving a really positive impact. So for that, I want to tell you thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. And it's crazy that you talk about that now, because you know what? I feel the other day I posted a video, just the other day, because it's a trend, and I went to go buy some shoes at some store that's considered very expensive.
Yeah.
And
I got
the
a story about that. Go ahead.
is going very viral.
Oh yeah.
It's like almost, I haven't even seen it yet. It's probably like over 500,000 views right now, right? But it's going viral because of people saying like, oh, they don't believe that I spent the money there because of the color of my skin.
Oh, wow.
Or because of how I look. or because they don't believe that I could afford it, or and the point of that, I was following a trend, whatever,
yeah.
but it went viral because of that, not because they were happy to see that someone like me was making it, not because they were happy to see that, wow, cool, she's a great business owner, she deserves it, she deserves a gift or whatever it is, right? It's mainly because like, oh, she doesn't fit the profile, she doesn't. She's not light skinned with blue eyes, or and at the end of the day, I've grown really thick skin. It's not getting to me. I'm laughing at it because hey, I'm over here, with you guys on a Tuesday enjoying a podcast right now
on the roots of ambition.
The roots of ambition. But it's crazy to see that the world is still so cold that way, and it's still like you gotta be presented some type of way so people can believe that you're at a level of success or whatever it is. So I responded with my nice bossy little sarcastic responses. But it's crazy to see how now it's like I've landed on that side of TikTok where it's cold. It's cold,
And
so
I can only assume that the bigger that you get, the bigger the target gets on your back.
Absolutely.
Right? So I mean, and that sucks, man, and that sucks. But where you come from, who you are, what you're about, what you stand for, it's not going to hurt because you're going to continue to move forward
and continue to be a beacon for all of those people that want to get there.
Yes.
And whether you fit the profile where you have darker skin or not, you're a beacon and you're proof that can happen. And it can be it doesn't happen by itself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard work. Some of it that we talked about it just now, but I'm sure there's plenty of other stuff that we didn't discuss today in the background that's what got you here.
Yes.
And so don't focus on if you fit certain profile. Don't focus if somebody thinks you're going to do it or not. Just keep being you. Keep pushing forward. And this is part of what you can achieve.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So I got a story real quick before we go. So the place where you bought the bag from that my wife was asking about. So I took my wife to New York.
That's funny.
So we go to New York a week before Christmas, girl, right? It is cold. Have you been to New York yet? Okay.
We went there when it was like -11. It was terrible. -11 degrees.
My God, it's a different kind of cold over there, right?
Yeah.
Girlfriend, I had the long johns on. I had my pants on. I had 2 pair of socks. I had 2 sweaters, a jacket, and I had a beanie. So we were walking. I don't know where my beanie went, but my fucking ears were frozen, right?
No.
So we go to 5th Avenue, Saks, the popular, real famous. So I told my wife, I got to get a beanie, man. My ears were burning, right? And it never occurred to me to buy a beanie outside, like on the street, right? It never occurred to me. So we go upstairs and like, where my wife goes this way, she's looking at Louis Vuitton and all this. And I get lost. I see this store. I've never seen a store before in my life. And I ran into this beanie. I'm like, man, that beanie looks all right. I'm going to just get this beanie. I'm going to put this beanie on, bro. Right? So I'm going to go to the register. My wife is looking at me. It was funny because she was staring at me the whole time. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You know where you're at. And I had no idea what store I was at, bro. Right? So I'm going to go pay. And the guy's all, okay, you ready? I'm like, yeah, he's okay. We're going to get this. Yeah, I want the beanie, bro. My ears were red. And $495. Boy, I almost had a heart attack. But the guy looked at me like, well, you can't afford this anyway. I'm like, man, you don't know me, dog. You don't know what I roll like, bro. So I said, I'm going to buy this shit anyways, right? I turn around and my wife was all, how much was the beanie? I was like, girl, it was like $14. So anyways, we're going outside and I get on my phone and I start looking up the store and I'm like, holy shit, this is cashmere beanie right here. So now my wife makes fun of me because as soon as we go outside, I go to the store, the street vendors, and they're selling beanies for like $15.
Oh my goodness!
Right, but I was like, hey, at least I can say I bought that, and it didn't bother me one bit.
When he told me that story, I assumed they charged him extra because of the side of his head. But
you see what I got to do with?
Well, now you got yourself a $495 beanie, which is great.
Yes, ma'am. And my ears were warm after
wearing
that, girl.
In summer all day, every day.
Cashmere, baby.
That's good. Awesome.
Oh man, well, dude, again, thank you so much. We do want to give a shout out to the restaurant that came out to donate the restaurant really quick. And then we have, before we let you go, we have some fast questions we're gonna ask you.
Oh no, okay.
The yes, the no's, the real quick answers. But let me get through this really quick. I want to give them a shout out. Tortas El Tio. I want to thank you guys, man. Ever since I moved up to Brentwood, I found you guys. You guys did nothing but take care of me, take care of my company. Every time I brought my customers to you, I brought friends to you. I brought all my technicians to you for Monday meetings. You guys always take care of me. I just want to tell you guys thank you. All right, real quick before we go, we got to give a big shout out to Tortas El Tio out in Oakley for coming through with food today. They always show love, and honestly, it's one of those spots Danny, myself, and I hit up. Angel. It's family owned, made with love. You can taste every bite. If you're ever in Oakley, California, and craving something fire, pull up to Tortas El Tio and tell them the Roots of Ambition sent you guys. Absolutely.
They were really good tortas.
Yeah.
And the quesadillas were delicious.
Let's go. And that's coming from
Tortas El Tio.
Yes, there you go. Thank you
I'm
so
from
much.
Guadalajara, so tortas have to be like...
Tortas ahogadas. They're really good, right? Yeah.
All right,
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. I know with how busy you guys are, the time is probably the most valuable thing that you guys have nowadays. And so really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It's so beautiful to get to know you. You guys are solid people.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see Raza do good and inspire other people.
It's beautiful, bro.
So thank you.
Estamos representando la raza.
We wish. Thank you too, bro. Thank you for allowing this to happen as well, man. Thank you.
So with that, this is a wrap. Thank you. And you guys know the drill. Like, follow, and subscribe. And stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Man, one message. It's not how you start.
It's how you
finish, baby. Finish
Thank
strong.
you.
And we
It starts with a fire you can't ignore, a whisper that says you are made for more. Just listen, this is the roots of ambition.